With San Francisco's training camp only a few days away, they recently signed their second round pick in Alfred Collins, which honestly might be their biggest addition of this offseason considering how terrible their run defense was last year. So in this video, I do want to dive a little bit more deeply into the player that is Alfred Collins. And to do this, we'll examine his film, go over his strengths, his weaknesses, as well as his career up to this point, so we can understand if he will be the next defensive tackle to earn a gold jacket for San Francisco. Initially starting out, what stands out about Collins is his mind-boggling size and athleticism. Here on this play, for instance, you can see how he takes on the tackle, then takes on the tight end, but that's not enough. He also gets horizontally with this quarterback and brings him down for a loss. A phenomenal play. In a similar way on this play, you can see how Collins stacks up this guard with his length and power and then starts getting horizontally because he reads where this back is going, sheds this block, and then brings down this back. I don't know many big guys that can move like this. Another aspect of Collins' game I like against the run is his transitioning from power over to like an agile type move. Like on this play, he pulls out a swim move. This is way too much for an offensive lineman to handle. They start lunging at him and he helps bring down the quarterback. In addition to his agility, he's going to immediately help San Francisco's struggling run defense as he's a mountain on the interior. Here on this play, for instance, you can see how he gets full extension on the center. The center is not driving him at all. Collins just reading right where this back is going. As soon as the back decides to go through his hole, he sheds his block and helps bring him down. Collins is phenomenal against the run, and I can't wait to see him on Sundays. He also is a player that you can't just put a tight end on because routinely he'll blow up the play. He also has phenomenal grip strength, which should help keep San Francisco's linebackers clean. Here on this play, for instance, you can see how this lineman is trying to chop away his hands. He can't, but that doesn't mean Collins can't throw off his block and get in on this play. Another reason I'm sure Collins was drafted by Robert Saleh and Chris Kasarik was his ability to take on double teams. Here on this play, for instance, you can see how he stacks up this double team that's supposed to double him up to the second level. They get no push and he helps bring down the quarterback. I also love how smart of a player he is in his run defense. He's rarely fooled on these like little read options or any trick plays and routinely brings down backs in the backfield. Outside of his run defense, there are times in Collins' pass rush plan that you see a player that could be truly disruptive at the next level, with one of his best moves in my opinion being this little spin move. What's truly impressive about it to me is how Collins sets it up. Here going against 77 for instance, you can see how he shoots hard across his face like he's trying to penetrate this A gap, and then at the last second, when he is lunging at him, he spins hard, gets into the backfield, and ultimately put enough pressure on this quarterback to force the errant throw. And while right here, it fell harmlessly to the turf, they're not always so lucky when they're facing Collins. Right here, for instance, Collins quickly pulls out a little swim move, gets into the backfield. You have to put someone bigger than just the tight end and a running back on him, and then finally tips the pass, forcing the interception on the play. I also love when he doesn't get to the quarterback on the play. He does a nice job of getting his long arms in the quarterback's throwing lanes, and he usually bats down passes. And like his running game, Collins shows off great power, usually being able to pull out a bull rush to collapse the pocket. But outside of all these positives, there are some areas of concern for Collins, with arguably the most notable being his injury. He sustained a calf injury in the pre-draft process and still has yet to practice with San Francisco, and while Kyle Shanahan envisions him being ready to roll in training camp, if he's not, that's something to definitely monitor. Being said, there are other areas of concern for Alfred Collins on the field. Probably the most notable being his lack of refinement as a pass rusher. While dominant as a run defender, he's not the most refined pass rusher just yet. He has a couple of tools he routinely pulls out, but he doesn't have the most tools. Collins could also further his development as a pass rusher by developing a true plan. If his first move doesn't work, just seamlessly transition into another move, then another, until you finally get to the quarterback. Another aspect of Collins' game he needs to work on to be successful at the NFL level is his pad level. In both aspects of the game, the run defense and pass rush, sometimes he'll get too high up, and because he's 6'6", smaller offensive linemen can get inside his chest. Even with these concerns for Collins though, he has the potential to be one of the better defensive tackles in this entire class and honestly the entire NFL. His skill set is absurd. Already in his run defense, for instance, he looks like he's going to be an absolute force up the middle. Not only is he 6'6", coming in at 330 pounds, he has the power to back it up and agility. And if he's able to unlock his full potential as a pass rush specialist, it's no surprise Fox Sports compared him to Young, and maybe he will be the first defensive tackle for San Francisco in quite a while to be a multi-time Pro Bowler. But to truly understand just how gifted Alfred Collins is, I did want to break down his career up to this point so we can fully understand what to expect out of him headed into his rookie campaign. When we were first introduced to Collins, he was playing defensive end at Cedar Creek High School rather than defensive tackle. He also participated in basketball and track and field. And in his high school career, Collins made 253 tackles, 74 tackles for loss, and 18 sacks. Throw in 5 pass breakups and 5 fumble recoveries, and that was good enough for Collins to be ranked as a 5-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports, and he had offers from Texas, Baylor, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma, with him ultimately deciding to enroll at Texas. And during his true freshman season in 2020, he played in all 10 games with 1 start, had 22 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, an interception, and 3 passes broken up. The following year as a sophomore in 2021, he once again played in all 12 games with 4 starts, had 25 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. He once again offered similar production in 2022 as a junior, playing in 12 games with 1 start, having 17 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack. His true breakout year though came in 2023 where he was an honorable mention All Big 12 Conference selection. That year, he had his most starts yet with 6, played in 14 games, had 22 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 passes broken up. He once again continued his upward trajectory last year in 2024, being named a second-team Associated Press All-American. This was after starting all 16 games, having 55 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, a sack, 7 passes broken up, a forced fumble, and a block kick. After this All-American season, Collins did decide to enter the 2025 NFL Draft, and at the Combine, he came in at 6'6", weighing 332 pounds, had nearly 35-inch arms and a 10-inch hand. And with San Francisco sitting there day 2 of the 2025 NFL Draft in round 2 with pick 11, they decided to pick up the ascending defensive tackle in Alfred Collins. And I think the initial plan for him is on 1st and 2nd down to really use him as a run stuffer, something he's excellent at and showed off during his Texas days, and then slowly bring him on as a true pass rush specialist, because right now, San Francisco has a variety of options, like sliding Michael Williams over. But if he can be unlocked by Chris Kasarik in that aspect, he has the potential to be a multi-time Pro Bowler, as Fox was suggesting. And it's even better for San Francisco because they were getting him when he was just descending. Last year for Texas, for instance, was by and far his best year. If he had multiple years like that, without a doubt, he would be a top 10 pick. But now I want to hear your thoughts about San Francisco signing Alfred Collins to a 4-year deal. Personally, I think it's going to make a major difference on the run defense, but now I want to hear your thoughts. It would also mean a ton if you could like and subscribe, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.